Good afternoon. Okay, my lovelies, I need to pop to the co-op, actually, of all places. And I think that the Honourable Shison should have their wheels turned over today. I think it's about time. Minge Bag there did jolly well last night. I enjoyed her very much. Gosh, those wheels need cleaning. If I'm going to take Minge Bag on Sunday, then she's going to need a jolly good clean-up. Stigbürt needs some love and attention, bless him. But it's Shison. Now, battery should be okay. Haven't left it for too long. We have unlocking. Hello, Shison. How you doing? Oh, not got much in the way of fuel there, have you, my lovely? What have you got in the way of battery? Excellent. Well, a couple of things have arrived in the post today, my lovelies. One of them is this little chap here, which is going to go into Barney the Streetwise to replace the single white one I've got. Black's going to fit him better, and I'm hoping that these will illuminate blue to add to and help with the blue ambience I'm trying to create in young Barney. And the other is this. Now, I've had a nightmare with this. This has taken about a month to get here, and it's cost me more than it should have. It was an eBay buy. The guy was away quite long term. His daughter had the job of posting it, and from the sound of it, his daughter raided all of his drinks cabinets and whatnot and was permanently pissed. This got put into a post box with a normal second-class stamp on it, disappeared in the postal system for ages. Eventually, I got a thing saying we couldn't deliver a thing because it hasn't got enough postage on it. So I had to pay additional postage. It was really badly packed, but you know, amazingly, it's got here at last, and it's relatively unscathed. And what this is a brochure. I think it's 94, but it's a brochure for the entire Rover range. So I'm delighted to have this. So we've got a Rover for everyone, bloody bollocks, 45 steering wheel there, unmissable. That's a 75 sat-nav display, 75 wheels. Then we've got the new Rover 75 V8 and some blurb on that. Then the Rover 75 Limousine, again with blurb. I need to drive one of these. I don't think I've even seen a limousine in real life. Maybe I did, maybe one of the Project Nigel dudes. 75 Saloon and Tourer. We're familiar with those. These are all facelift models, obviously. Then we've got interior of the facelift 75 along with blurb. But then we've got specs on the facelift 75. That's quite useful, although I've got a facelift 75 brochure, so there's going to be nothing new here. And now we're on to the 45. Again, I do have a brochure, so again, it's nothing new, but nice to have it all in one place. This is going to be my go-to bathroom reading. All of the Rover 45 specs, familiar with those mostly. Now this is something I don't have. Rover 25, I've got a 25 brochure, but it is pre-facelift. I haven't got a post-facelift brochure, so this is quite interesting and quite good to have. And again, we've got all of the specs. Now this surprised me. The models 25i, SI, SEI and SXI, so this is obviously post facelift, but before the introduction of the GSI that Brian is, and the GXI that Brian isn't. So that's interesting. And then another brochure I haven't got, Streetwise. So that's great to have, and it's in the correct colour look. So that's brilliant. And then we've got the Streetwise specs. And what is interesting here is that it confirms, oh, and I finally get to find out what these alloys are called. They're called blades, 16-inch blades. So those are these Streetwise alloys. But Mustard said that Barney had air conditioning at some point, and a bit of it was ripped out and the button was removed, and that's confirmed here, because Barney is an SE and air conditioning was standard. He's got everything else. He's got the electric door mirrors, he's got the leather wheel and knob, he's got the part leather seats, he's got the front fogs, he's got the body colour, but the aircon is no longer there. I wonder what would be involved in refitting it. Probably more than is worthwhile. And then fantastically, City Rover. Isn't that brilliant? Still on my list. I still desperately want a City Rover, and all of the City Rover specs. So yeah, and then details on the monogram personalization system. And there we are. Can we find a date on this? No, but I'm sure it's 2004. Oh, hang on, and there's something else I need to get there. A Rover 75 price list. And this was a dealer's copy. It's 2004 model year, and this was Karen's copy of the price list. And then we've got the cost of all of the options there. So yeah, even though this ended up costing me £1.50 more than it should have, and even though it took a month to get here, I'm absolutely delighted to have these. And they were a bit of a bargain because they went for the opening bid, which was, I think, 99p. So I can't grumble. Really glad to have that. Now, let's make some lunch. Now then, this is the place that I've selected for the first in the new series of videos where Bernard and I, or probably just me, get very drunk in some luxury locations. And this is the suite I would rather like. Look at that bath. You know, I could actually fit in that. The only problem is, as you can possibly imagine, it's ruinously expensive. So my next job is to fire off an email and see what I can blag. Right, well, that's done. I've fired off an email. Not expecting great results, but what the hell? If you don't ask, you don't get.
When somebody needs one, and then there's a bit of money out of it as well.
Well, Mustard was complaining in his live stream that it was too hot in the Yard of Dreams. No such issues here in the Peak District today. It's not cold, but it's not hot. And it's most definitely damp. That Volvo looks rather posh. The grille on whatever the name of that big posh Volvo is, the grille reminds me of the old was it the 264? Gosh, I can't remember now. There was I think it was the 26. I think it was the 264. It was like the bigger, posher version of the boxy Volvo saloon, and Oh, it was all kitted out with headlamp wipers and all sorts. Of course, the Volvo that I would really love would be a 262C. I have had Volvos. Not all that many, but I have had Volvos. I had a very, very rare one. I had a 460 turbo, and I had that relatively recently. And God knows I should have hung on to that. I mean, that is rocking horse stuff. I was crazy to let that go, absolutely crazy. But I had, I had an old white estate for a while as a knockabout. Had a 480 turbo. Oh, and I had a P1800, not the ES, the two-door coupe, which I sold. God, I remember that. The dynamo went on it, and I had to deliver it down to Dorset, I think it was. No, I tell a lie. It was in the Cotswolds, somewhere in the Cotswolds with no dynamo. And there were delays, and it was getting dark. Yeah, it was a bit of a squeaky bum journey. That knock was there when I first started Barney up, although, touch wood, he said, touching his head, which is the closest thing to wood that I have available within this car. It seems to have gone away. Now, Pingu, bless him, suggested in a comment that maybe he needed a bit of an oil change, but I was pretty sure that Barney here had a recent service, but I checked the oil and it's clean, it's recent, and there's the right amount of it. So whatever the knock is, intermittent as it apparently is, it's just one of those things. K-series are little characters, into and of and unto themselves. Now, the Kreutzer Tram Museum entrance is just 10 yards on the right there. Interesting little junction this, isn't it? All sorts of possibilities for disaster. Oh, I must look at the weather forecast, see what Sunday's going to be like. The potential weather could play a part in the decision-making process of which car to take. Yellow cottages, you don't see them so much anymore, do you? I rather like a yellow cottage. Oh no, the knock is there, it's just a bit quieter. Well, don't say thank you then, you miserable cow. Too busy looking down at your phone, weren't you? Yes. You're lucky I'm not Cycle Michael. He would have reported you to the authorities and stood in your way or nailed himself to something in protest of your doings. You didn't say thank you either, miserable fucker. I suppose that when you think about it, situations like that are a powerful argument for the non-existence of God. Because one would imagine that if there were a God who conforms to all of the representations made of him, them, in various religious texts, you'd think that they would put some sort of system in place that a driver who was the recipient of another driver's courtesy, who failed to acknowledge that courtesy, you would think that any kind of God worth their salt would immediately and automatically make something slightly unpleasant happen to them. And you don't witness that happening all that much. I mean, I know God's probably busy. Oh, excuse me. A lot on his plate and all that. Oh, excuse me. Maybe he could have some sort of suggestion box. You know. So, look, I'm a busy deity. I've got all sorts going on, but I recognise that there may be things that I've neglected to do that perhaps I ought to do. And if you would like to suggest some of these things, please write it on a bit of paper and put it in this box. But then, if God is omnipotent, if God is everywhere, that means he's in our minds, so he should know what we're thinking. But then again, you know, busy chap, he probably hasn't got time to inhabit all of our minds on a permanent basis. Maybe you have to alert him to, well, maybe that's what prayer is for. Maybe the purpose of prayer is, you know, a bit like dialing his mobile phone so that you get his immediate attention. Yeah, that knock is definitely there. Oh well. Let's try not to worry about it too much. Let's worry instead about what we're going to have for supper. Because that is a decision that hasn't yet been made. Quite honestly, I fancy Momo. Oh, brilliant. Oh, it's Frank, bless him. And it's Ram. Here we are then, my lovelies. Just have a listen.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Awfully well, thank you. Yeah, I can hear that knock, but it's not exacerbated when you rev, so I don't know. Right, catch you in a bit. Right, today's the second time I've tried to repair this, and so far this time successful. Last time not successful, but this time seems to be holding firm. I just need to order a speaker grill off the interweb. Right then, let's see how we do. This is the current chap, little white chap. Can't remember what that came with. Came with something or other. And coming up is, if I can find it, here you are. And here is the replacement chap, a Griffin. And this is supposed to sit quite flush. Let's pop it in there. Oh my God. Oh, it's a bit of a squeeze. Oh dear. That's a right old squeeze. Oh God, and then you can't get it out. Bloody hell. Well, I don't think it illuminates blue. Well, that's a shame. Probably does look better though. Does it work? Let's have a look. Let's plug this in. Okay, well, I can confirm that that absolutely, definitely, 100% doesn't work. Brilliant. Right, it's that time of the night when I think about popping into Sainsburys for whatever essentials I'm running short of at home. Now, what are we having tonight? It's noodles tonight, isn't it? Tomorrow I'm gonna have southern fried goujons with salad and make some chips, I think, or do some, not sure, one or the other. What I'm definitely short of is wine. You do have to say that Sainsburys does perform a valuable social function. Specifically, it keeps the scum out of Waitrose. I've just had that same feeling again, walking towards Barney, and I think, oh, you're such a funky looking little fucker. It really is a cool looking car. And it's weird, the 25 pre or post facelift, more so the pre, they look dated. They do look dated, whereas the Streetwise could almost have been made yesterday. I think it's fabulous. Who knew? It's a big treat tonight, my lovelies.
I don't have pen here. I don't have pen to make it.
And these are mine, minus the white cabbage and carrot, because they've got no place on a decent dish. Hello, Pram. Ooh, it's turned into a bit of a filthy night. Dear me. Oh, before I forget, just thank you to Simon, Smashing Pistons, for sharing the restaurant post advertising the front of house job. It's just really thoughtful. He's like that. He's one of those chaps that just does little and not so little things without any form of prompting, in the hope that they might be helpful. That's really kind, and I really do appreciate it. I have filled Barney up tonight with petrol, and so I'll be able to put the doings into the flippity gibbet and get the first MPG reading and cost per mile and all of the other clever things that the app does. So that'll be interesting. I'll genuinely be interested to see what I'm getting out of Barney. I think he's pretty good, from what I can tell. Certainly measurably better than Shison, although equally measurably not as frugal as Derek would have been, I imagine. Although I'm not sure there's that much in it, actually. But then Derek kind of wasn't running properly, was he? But yeah, and the aim is definitely to get into a position where I can have full tanks in all of the cars. I reckon that'll take me about, at the current rate of growth, I'm quietly confident. All right, full beam off, arseface. I'm quietly confident that I will get to that situation comfortably within the next 5 years. Barney's fuel results are in. 262 miles, 45.81 mpg. Not bad. And on that note, I'm going to say good night, darlings. Thank you for watching. And I'm about to, it's noodles for supper, as you saw. And I'm off. Have a safe and peaceful night. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Much love.